So like I was saying, guys, you know that I thought they were gonna do that whole story of the symbiote, not it just falling out of the sky and it jumps on Peter's bike and stuff like that. I was just what the casting. I thought I forgot the actor's name who played Sandman. I thought he was well cast as Sandman. I hated who they casted as Eddie Brock, because Eddie Brock is supposed to be this big, buff, total opposite of Peter. Very buff. Not Peter being physically fit, but totally buff. And this guy came off, was like no bigger than Tobey Maguire. And once again, the actor who played him, his name is eluding me right now. But just really bad problems with it. Then you add Gwen Stacy to the matter, Peter's first love, okay, who tragically lost her life to the Green Goblin. And I thought Ron Howard's daughter was beautiful as Gwen. Don't get me wrong. But then when you're trying to put her into like a love triangle between Peter, her, and Mary Jane, in some mind, and I'm probably not the only one, I'm looking at Tobey Maguire like, dude, is it that hard? You know. And other than that, it was like she just stole it from Mary Jane's character, Miss Kirsten Dunst. And she looked like Gwen Stacy. I'm not gonna lie about that. But then when you started hearing talks of for the fourth one, and Kirsten Dunst may not come back for the fourth one, I'm looking at Miss Ron Howard's daughter like, wow, throw the red hair and I'm seeing Mary Jane. But I don't like when movies do that sometimes, especially if they're going to continue the story and not reboot it, and they change the character. There are a lot of things, like I said, that really pissed me off about the third one. I mean, I wish they would have, like I said before, explored, Peter wisecracking, doing more jokes when he's fighting his enemies. And the third one, it was too much crying. I'm like, yo, stop crying, man up. I'm like, this is not Spider-Man. This is a soap opera Spider-Man. I'm like, what is this? Like I said, Peter not showing his smarts in this one. Like I said, third one, too many subplots, too many villains. It fell into that trap. It just, as my opinion, you shouldn't have had Venom in it. He should have been saved for the fourth one. You could have done the whole symbiote story and Sandman, but you could have left Peter. My story would have went like this: fight scene with Sandman. Peter beats Sandman like he did in the comics using the cement truck. Peter recollects with MJ. Okay, then the camera panels to an alley and you see a figure in the alley. Camera zooms in on the face, you see it's Eddie Brock. And then he's saying basically, I'm going to get you, Parker. I'm going to get you. Next thing you know, camera, he goes back into the shadows, but you can still see a little light, basically, right? And then all of a sudden you hear him start saying, we will get you, Parker. And then you never see him really change, but you see the symbol of Venom. End the movie, you go into a whole movie about Venom. There's your fourth one. But now you screwed it up, right? In some way. So now we go to the fourth one, right? And here's the big question: which villains would I like to see in the fourth one? Well, once again, me and my friend Galactus Girl was talking about this, and she had some great choices, from Hobgoblin to Mysterio to, and as far as Hobgoblin go, I think we've had enough of goblins for now. Even though Hobgoblin is a great character, but mainly I would like to see the side of Doc Connors, the Lizard, and basically in terms of the Lizard, the story would probably go like this. I said it before. It should start off with, you already see Peter fighting the Lizard, and then you go into the backstory of how this happened. Peter saves Doc Connor with like a small antidote, but it's not permanent. The Lizard resurfaces again, but even during that time, they pan out maybe to, in my terms, the plot would plan out to maybe Russia or Africa, wherever, and you see and enters Kraven the Hunter, Sergei Kravinoff. And then he's getting heard talks of a giant lizard in New York City, so he comes to New York to hunt down this lizard. Basically, this is my plot, guys. Then the story goes, Peter is now a rescue mission to stop this hunter from killing a good friend of Peter's. So Peter finally saves Doc Connor, get the antidote again, a full antidote in some way. And I'm just throwing ideas out there. And then Peter fouls Kraven's hunt. So now, but then Kraven sees that this Spider-Man is more of a challenge and more of a greater prey. So then it becomes now Kraven now hunting Peter. And that's my biggest villain. That's who I would love to see. If anybody gave Peter a hard time, gave Spidey some trouble, Kraven the Hunter is definitely up there. For all those who read Kraven's last hunt before he killed himself, what did he do to Peter? He buried him. He buried the man alive and went around being Spider-Man himself because he was so tired of him being defeated by Spider-Man. And it took Spidey months to dig himself out. So basically, that's my real villain. Those are the two guys I would really want to see. The teaser villain, sub-villain being the Lizard, where you see Peter trying to save his friend, and the main villain going around Kraven the Hunter. I know people are talking about, Carnage, but look, without the Venom symbiote, there will be no Carnage, because the Venom symbiote has to basically offspring has the Carnage symbiote, because being that's Venom's son, the symbiote birthed the Carnage symbiote. But I do, if they did it right, I had some choices for Cleus Cassidy. And feel free to ask me, guys, but I wish they explored. There's a lot of things about the Spider-Man movies I wish they really explored. For example, I wish they explored more of Peter and Robbie Robertson's relationship, showing that here's this guy that respects Peter, not just as Peter Parker, but as Spider-Man. Really explored that more. I wish they had explored more of the hatred that J. Jonah Jameson has for Peter, not always making a joke about it all the time. He says he hates him, but then he comes around and says and this and that. Because then, by doing that, you could have entered the Scorpion. Because then, by doing that, you could have entered the Scorpion. J. Jonah Jameson is responsible for creating the Scorpion. But there are so many villains you could add, but then there's some that are just like, they're henchmen. They're not, you can't do a full 2-hour plus movie around them. You know, even there, but you know, Mr. Raymond just got to really sit down and think, and you know, just really think about think about the character, and be like, look, I failed, and really say basically, look, I failed on the third one. I'm not gonna fail on this one. Sit down and do it right. You know, don't fall into that trap again, because that's what me and my friend Galactus Girl, check out her page, guys, was talking about. Is like the Spider-Man franchise, and we fear that it could fall into the category of what happened to the 90s Batman franchise, you know, and we all know what happened to that. So basically that's it, guys. You know, my main villain that I want to see is Kraven, and the sub-villain being the Lizard. So once again, guys, stay tuned, and I'll be back.